I grew up in Augusta. And when I was a kid, I used to look over this fence and dream of the day when I could earn the honor of playing in the Masters. Every once in a while, reality exceeds your dreams. A tradition unlike any other, the Masters on CBS Sports.
This is CBS.
All right, this is not CBS Sports. This is The Big Salad, hosted by the one and only Quinn Maseko. Did you like that?
I did like that. We better plug in George right here then.
If it was a regular salad, I wouldn't have said anything. But you had to have that big salad!
And welcome to it. We're back, baby. Happy springtime. Just in time, and we'll remind you at the end of the show, but we'll be taking a spring break next week.
Yes.
So we will be back for Final Four reaction after Ryan comes back from his unknown whereabouts, where he's not allowed to tell people. And
Yeah, I'm going to Alcatraz.
I will be here. Don't worry, but I will be out mowing lawns hopefully within the next week or two. Grass is greening, the sun is shining, and that corn is sure high. We're about to be at some point. We've had a first wonderful few days of spring. And in today's episode, there is no VHS tape being played on the TV.
You don't want to watch anything today? We have too much to talk about?
We're ending already. We have to start it before, to get right into it. So.
You're too busy watching the Masters promos.
In today's episode, the Colts get Matt Ryan. The Browns officially get Deshaun Watson. And Phil Mickelson will be taking off the Masters. So we begin today with this past weekend of 5 days of basketball. After the first four came over, the men's tournament started, and their round of 64 on Thursday. The women's on Friday, with the men's concluding in their round of 32 Sunday night, while the women's concluded Monday night. So, Ryan, what was your most watchable game this weekend for each tournament?
Well, I would like to say, first off, that I was right about Kentucky.
You were.
I will also like to say
I
was wrong about Virginia Tech.
I will also like to say that I was right about Baylor being a faker, too. That's why I didn't want to pass the Sweet 16.
I agreed with you on that. I said I didn't like Baylor, but I felt like I didn't know who else really to go with.
I know. And now that one's a mess, and looks like Purdue has the easiest path to the Final Four right now.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Anyway, most watchable game. Men's or women's? Whoever you want to choose, Worth. First.
We'll go women's first. I like the LSU-Ohio State game.
Okay, you did catch that. Yeah.
Big upset.
Yes.
Yeah. 79-64. I just checked the score. That's what I was looking up.
Yep.
I like that one. I thought it was fun. I thought Ohio State, women's getting a big win and eliminating who we had in our Final Four.
Yes, in my real bracket, I changed back to Stanford because I was scared. But I wasn't really scared, like, per se.
Well, it was a good call.
I thought, well, I better pick Stanford. You can't bet against Tara Vanderveer. I can't bet against Kim Mulkey either because she's a good coach. She's one of the only people associated with women's basketball that has won a gold medal for the Olympics and an NCAA women's basketball championship as a player, assistant coach, and head coach. So, she's the only person to ever do that. I'm just going to tell you that right now. But,
all right,
back to you.
My most watchable game for the men's is actually a first-round game, and that was, this game really has a lot of what you want in March Madness. Excitement, an upset, interesting narratives at play, and interesting characters. Because March Madness, me and my friends have talked about it before. Yeah, you're making the Peacocks dance here. Me and my friends talked about it before. It's almost like basketball story mode. Because you see all these narratives form in this really short period of time. And so you get to see all these stories. Basically, all interject like a good episode of Seinfeld. It's like you start with 64, kind of 68 stories. And by the end, they've all collapsed into one.
Yes.
And whereas Seinfeld, you start with 4 and you end with 36 endings. There's a lot that goes on in an episode of Seinfeld. But, point is, it's the St. Peter's versus Kentucky game. Mm-hmm. You get a fun upset. Mm-hmm. I think most people would agree it's kind of fun to see Kentucky lose. Like they're one of those, you know what I mean,
Yes.
programs people enjoy, watch, lose.
Yes.
And then I think St. Peter's is really fun. Doug Edert, obviously being the big character for them, he just signed a name and likeness deal with Buffalo Wild Wings.
Wings Beer
It was an
Sports.
exciting game, came down to the wire at the end. And, you know, it's like, it's really got everything you want. You've got NBA prospects there and Ty
Yep.
Washington.
Yes, Ty
And
Washington.
I was trying to make sure Washington was his last name. I didn't pay a lot of attention to him because Kentucky guys, I think I've told you this before, in college, Kentucky guys, ever since Karl Anthony Towns, they haven't played as well in college as you thought they would. And then they get drafted into the NBA at like
They
the
play way
12th
better than they
pick,
did.
and then they play way better than they did in college. And that was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Devin Booker, probably Ty Washington. Who else went off? There's somebody else I was thinking of. Bam Adebayo. Like, he was good in college. He's amazing in the NBA.
Yeah, better.
Mhm.
I agree.
Unlike Keegan Murray, who I think is going to slow down when he gets to the pros.
Right.
I was right about Iowa being a faker, too.
Yes, but which I always agree with. But in this year, you kind of couldn't disagree with them because they were hot. They won the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah.
That was the problem. They were deceiving. They really gave more deception.
Never trust an Iowa team. I don't trust Illinois anymore either after last year, and I was right to not trust them.
Yeah, that's right. We didn't.
We
had
put
to
them
go-
out with a Sweet
put in the
16.
Sweet 16, which is
Well,
one
far.
game farther than they went. But so I got actually 2 for each sex here, and I'm going to start with the women's because it's Women's History Month.
Yep.
So, and the first game I'm going to say is in the first round. It's the first LSU game, LSU versus Jackson State. Because I texted you about this, see if you were home, and you were out.
I was out. I couldn't.
You was
But
out
yes,
to eat.
yeah.
Okay, so this was a great game. So LSU was already up big. Jackson State gets a couple technicals in the third quarter, and LSU gets up by 18 points. They're up 48-30. Jackson State comes roaring back and gets to push the lead to their own of 10 points. So that was a 28-point
Wow.
swing at about a quarter. Because we went from the mid-third to about the mid-fourth. So then we get close to the end of the
It's a
fourth.
Bayou battle, too.
Uh-huh. So then so we
Jackson
get to
State
the-
versus LSU, yeah.
Then we get to the fourth quarter, and Kayla Pointer starts stepping up for LSU again, and she swings it all the way back, and they end up winning. So that's where I thought, LSU might be a faker now because they couldn't fare too well against Jackson State, and I thought maybe they'd have a big comeback against OSU, and that didn't happen. But it was just a crazy game where just the momentum shifted from one way to another. And what's even crazier, and this is what's even easier for you to create your own momentum in the women's tournament, because they're not neutral site for the first 2 rounds.
Yeah.
They're at your home. So you have all the momentum on your side if you're LSU or UConn or Stanford or whoever you're going to be, because you're playing at home the first 2 games most likely if you win.
I got
Ryan's
something.
interjecting.
Did you see my tweet about the men's tournament?
I don't know. You sound
I
like a
said I
large
warned
one.
y'all this would be one
I
of the
did see
craziest
that
tournaments of
one.
all time. We're
I
getting
did
it.
see this one.
We're getting into like a 2018 style. We might have.
Yes.
We'll be lucky to get one number 1 seed in the Final Four.
Well, we're going to talk about that later.
I know. I'm
So-
saying I think only one's going to make it, and you know which one it's going to be.
I do. Well, I hope it's the same one you were picking, but there we go.
Yep.
Anyway,
You know I love Tex Tech. And they're not a number 1 seed.
I know. I am going to say, actually, I'm going to change my order. I'm going to do alternating women's, men's. So, for my first men's game, I'm going to say.
Oh, you picked 2?
I did.
I didn't know we were allowed to do that. I could say.
Oh, well, it was up and in question. So, I guess I'm saying that they're tied for the most watchable game. But
Okay.
anywho,
That's fine.
I'm going to say they're both Sunday games from this past weekend. And the first one for my men's is Baylor against North Carolina. Because North Carolina, I missed this part in the middle.
That game was awesome.
Because
Yep.
the women's actually had a better schedule on Sunday where they spaced them out better so
Yep.
I could watch them more. And so I was over flipping on them because once I see a commercial, I flip the channel. I don't know how your system is, but that's how I am.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had a buddy over. AJ came over Saturday night. Mm-hmm. Sunday, we made plans with our friends to go out to eat around 6. So from noon to 6, we just sat in my living room and watched.
That's what I did Thursday and Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Yeah, we went out. We played darts when we were out to eat. We watched the
Ooh.
Michigan game. I actually won darts. I haven't played darts since I was, younger. One time I screwed around and played. This was on an electronic board,
Uh-huh.
and I actually won. It was I had 13 on the dock, and I hit the 13
Interesting.
spot after busting like 4 times on it. Oh yeah,
I
hit
like
the
it.
13 on the nose and won the game.
There we go.
It was a close game. But yeah, and then we watched the
Yes.
Michigan-Tennessee game. We all went,
I know.
we
I'm
should have
happy
taken
about that
Michigan because we were all in a bracket together.
one. Here's the thing. Michigan shouldn't even been in this damn tournament, and then they win 2 games in it. And that's
It's
my
because
statement.
Jawan's a good coach.
Oh, whoa. He wasn't even with this team the last 5 weeks. He was suspended from games.
I know. As soon as he comes back, they're like, our boy's back. Let's get rolling. He's a good coach, Quinn.
I'm not saying he's not a good coach. I'm just saying that team
Best
sucks.
coaches in the Big Ten. Izzo, him, Holtman.
Whoa. Beep. Let's back it up here. So you're taking Holtman and Howard over Painter or Guard,
I will admit my Holtman take is bad. We can cut him off.
even Underwood.
But I'm saying the best 2 coaches. Can we say the best 2 coaches?
You're saying they're both in the state of Michigan.
Yep.
Okay, that's a gutsy move there. I'm saying one of them is, and it's not the one in Ann Arbor. So
I think Jawan, when you're Michigan, is quite the catch because he's alumni. He's got experience. I think it's professional experience.
yes,
I'm trying to remember. I was like, yeah, he played in the NBA.
he played in the Heat.
Yeah, I forgot. He wasn't like a stud, and so
No,
sometimes
he wasn't.
sometimes it docks through my
Nope,
brain.
not really anybody from the Fab
I've
Five
only
is
played NBA
fantastic.
Live 2005 so many times.
I know. That's all you can get.
So and he's not usually a guy I compete with on the dunk contest in that game. So Jawan, that's the best part of NBA Live 05. I'll show you it sometime. But Jawan, I think ticks all the boxes. He cares about the player. Like based off what we've seen, he really. Did you see what he was doing with the guy Tennessee boy after they lost?
Yes, I did. He's trying to remake his image after punching somebody in the
Oh
face.
crap!
In the
Okay, that's what
face.
your claim is.
I'm not claiming it. I'm just saying that. I mean, it could be part of it. No, I'm not saying that he doesn't care about the players. I'm just saying that it's kind of hard for you to come back and punch one of your colleagues in the face. A
It's
little
not a
bit.
colleague.
It is a colleague. A colleague is somebody that's in the same field as you, that's at a different place that you don't know very well. That's a colleague.
Really?
That's what I would define a colleague. Let's ask Siri. Hey Siri.
You're getting really fired up over the definition of the
Colleague
word colleague. Let's just type it up.
I don't see any Devanok in your
Hey Siri.
I'm gonna beat you
Colleague
by typing this.
definition.
I'm gonna beat you by typing this. I'm beating Siri.
found this on the web for call lane.
A person with whom one works in a profession or business.
I would say
Does
that
not specify.
where, if it's at the same place or
Works
in the
with
same
though.
field.
One works in a profession or business. Whom one works in a profession or business.
With whom? You're working with them. You're working against them. You're meeting at these conferences. Don't act like college coaches don't go around each other and just see each other
No,
on
high
the
school
court.
coaches do that too. Yeah.
Exactly. So,
A fellow worker or professional. Does not specify whether they with you or against you.
there we go. See? All right. Anywho, we got to get back to reality here. And
Well, I mean, the definition of the words are reality.
well,
Merriam-Webster,
no, I mean, I got
since 1828.
Okay, I'm not saying about the words. I mean back to reality.
Let's
of
see
day.
the Merriam-Webster word of the day.
Okay, well you do that while I talk. So back to the Baylor North Carolina game, and it was a very good game. Brady Manick, the Larry Bird lookalike, gets thrown out for technicals, and I guess it was a fight in the middle. I didn't see that part.
Yeah, I saw.
That happens, and then here comes Baylor surging back. Matthew Meyer brings them back. Sohan, they're leading the charge. And then I knew that if they didn't win this in regulation, it was going to lose in overtime, which is what happened.
Yep.
But it was still a great game to see the comeback and see them below it.
I was sitting there on the couch. I was like, let's just flip, start watching the other games. The other games start. He's like, it's March. Don't flip it. They come back, we go to OT, and he starts running around my house yelling, it's March!
Yes.
Word of the day, ostensible. Means seeming or said to be true or real, but very possibly not true or real.
There you go.
So now the challenge is, Quinn, work that into a sentence casually during the episode at some point.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll see if you can hit it.
No, you got to do it.
Then I'm going to go on to my next women's game, and that is going to be the Iowa-Creighton game for the women's on
Yep,
Sunday.
good pick.
That was a very good game. I'm feeling for Caitlin Clark because she had a double-double, and I don't know where Creighton came from. I mean, I didn't think they were that good this year, and Iowa just flunked on their own. They had aspirations of making the Final Four, at least playing in the Elite Eight against South Carolina. So now they've given that upper hand to their neighbors in Ames, Iowa State. So that's going to go on. But Caitlin Clark, Sinano, she had almost 30 points carrying the Hawkeyes. That nobody else could score. That
She
was
had
the
to carry
biggest
him all
thing.
season.
Yes, her and Caitlin Clark. Yes, Sinano and Caitlin.
Yeah,
Clark.
I'm saying her and Caitlin Clark, yeah.
Yes. So it was just a crazy one there. Ryan is like Bernie right now. He's putting his finger up. He wants to interject. Ryan?
Yes. This game actually prompted my grandpa to call me because we had mentioned the women's tournament. I said, well, he's like, out of the Big Ten teams, which ones are any good? I was like, I think Iowa's really good this year. I like Iowa.
And what he
So
said?
he called me and goes, well, you're not the best projector.
Projector.
And I was like, projector? And he's like, predictor. And I was like, what do you mean, Grandpa? And he's like, you told me the women's team for Iowa was going to be a heck of a team. I said, I did think so, yes.
They're still a heck of a team. They blew it, though.
And he's like, they didn't go as far as you thought.
Nope.
And he started laughing. He's like, I'm just calling to razz you, Ryan. He's like, enjoy your evening. See you later. Hung up. He hung up just to razz me. I'll be right back and throw us away.
Okay. Well, Ryan throws his Cheez-Its away.
Well, not the Cheez-Its. I'm throwing like the one that fell on the
The
ground.
one that fell on the ground. Let me say that for professional there. So to go back to the men's side real quick, my other game, I'm just gonna blow the horn on my own game, which is Duke Michigan State. It's the highest watched game of March Madness yet. Wouldn't you expect that? And the last Izzo versus Krzyzewski duel. And
they're good. They're great.
I'm just going to say it was a great game because my team, Sparty, got down after about halfway through the first quarter, tied it back up close at the end of the half, and then was down 9 consistently through the second half until about 5 minutes ago where they got a 5-point lead and then blew it in the end to Duke. But I would say it's a hood classic.
I would agree.
Yes.
I think Duke really's got to go through an onslaught because they play.
Texas Tech.
I'm saying Michigan State, Texas Tech,
and possibly.
and then Gonzaga or Arkansas.
Yeah.
And then even if you get out of there and you get to the Final Four, you then probably are going to play UCLA, St. Peter's,
Or Baylor. Or Purdue, excuse me.
or Purdue, or maybe St. Peter's makes sense.
Yes. Yeah. No.
And then
Agree.
national title. Then you still have to be in the national title. I'm like, they had the toughest spot in my opinion out of the top seeds.
See, it's crazy. If they make it to the Final Four, possibly, it could be a rivalry game. It could be them and Carolina.
I hope not. I'm not a UNC guy. Like, I don't mind
I do
Duke.
for
I
UNC
have a lot of
over
respect for Coach K.
I have respect. Doesn't mean I like
I
it.
think he does he's always had exceptional teams. I do not think UNC impresses me really as much as they used to.
He's not even that good. This Carolina team's not that good. That's the thing.
Well, they haven't been amazing. Even when they won it in 2017, it wasn't like they were astounding.
Wasn't Kennedy Brooks on that team?
Maybe that was the Justin Jackson team that beat Gonzaga, who had Nigel Williams-Goss and Zach Collins.
I don't have to look up that roster.
But I remember, because they lose in 2016 to Chris Jenkins and Villanova, in the greatest March Madness moment of all time. Then 2017, they win it over Gonzaga. Then 2018, Michigan loses by a lot to Villanova. And then 2019 is the Virginia Revenge Tour because they lost to UMBC the year before. And it was Virginia over Tech. Then 2020 would have been Dayton, Michigan State. I'm kidding, but you told me the other day that that's what you thought it would have been that year. And that would have been pretty
I was
cool, your two
thinking
teams.
that. Yes, because Michigan State was on a 5-game win streak.
And
in the
Obi
Big
Toppin
Ten.
was amazing that year.
And Dayton was awesome. And they should have been undefeated because they lost to Kansas and Colorado in overtime.
Mm-hmm.
Like a mind of 3 points, I believe.
And then 2021 was Baylor, Gonzaga. You know what's weird? I don't know if I'm the only one. I am not the only one who feels this way either because I've said this ever since they won it last year. I was like, it doesn't feel like Baylor won the national title. Like, I don't know why, but for some reason, it just, like, you don't remember them being, you know what I mean? I don't know how to describe it. Like, for some reason, that championship does not stick out to me. Like, when I think of last year's March Madness, I think of Johnny Juzang and UCLA, and I think of all the hype for Gonzaga. I don't really remember Baylor. I can't even tell you the team they played in the Final Four. Genuinely, I can't remember. What was the other Final Four team?
For who again? I'm sorry, I'm looking at this roster.
Was it Auburn? No, it wasn't Auburn
For
last year. Yeah, who was it last year? Like, I'm asking. Who was the other Final
Gonzaga.
Four team? It was Gonzaga,
UCLA,
Baylor, and who?
Baylor, and that other one.
That's what I'm saying. And so then Baylor goes on to win the national title in a game that I think almost everybody thought Gonzaga would win because everybody was like, if Gonzaga can beat UCLA, they'll probably win the national title. And that's what happened. I mean, that's not what happened. So it's weird. The other day, I was sitting there with AJ watching the game, huge college basketball fan, and he's like, "Oh yeah, they did win the title last year because they said Baylor, last year's champion. And he's like, I forgot they won it. Completely forgot. I was like, yeah, me too. It's such a weird thing. I don't know why that happened. I'm looking up Final Four 2021. That's gonna bother me.
You're gonna meet me there.
Houston.
Hey, it's Houston.
Houston, the number 2 seed. It's so weird to think UCLA was the 11 seed last year.
Anywho, I do have that Carolina roster you were asking for, and I should correct myself. It's not Kennedy Brooks. It's Kennedy Meeks. I thought his name was Brooks. I'm combining two people.
What did he look like? I might remember him. Click on him.
You know these things don't load in your internet.
I know.
Kennedy Meeks. That's what he
Oh, I remember that guy. He was a big dude.
Yes. Yeah, he
was
got
good.
a bunch of rebounds.
He was good. He was good.
That was his senior year. And then they also had Luke May. Don't forget about Luke May.
I remember him.
And you said Justin Jackson.
I just remember Justin Jackson because that guy annoyed me when I was younger. For some reason, I just didn't like him.
I wonder why.
I don't know. To this day, when I see him, I'm like, didn't like him when I was younger.
Okay, so enough about the tournament here and our ramblings. We're going to move on to the sport.
Wait, I got a question for you. What game are you most excited for this weekend for both tournaments? You mean to pull them up?
To be honest, I'm not that excited. I'm more excited about the women's than I am the men's.
Okay. Let's hear it.
And let me just get these roster of games up here.
Well, I've got the men's right here. So you pull up the women's on your phone, and I'll have the men's on here.
Got it.
So we'll have them
I don't even know why we're doing this. It's already on the script.
Oh! Yeah, what are we doing? Good point. All right. All right, you make your pick. You go first. Women's first because women's history month.
I'm taking the women's because I think that doesn't mean anything. I'm just saying I'm more intrigued.
Okay, yeah.
I'm intrigued probably about the bottom 4 matchups.
South Dakota.
Okay, these are the games that are gonna be interesting. These are the Friday games.
Yeah.
Okay. Besides, Stanford, Maryland's gonna be good here, but Louisville, Tennessee, that's gonna be a really good one.
Yes,
right
it
there.
will. Yes,
we
it
picked
will.
Tennessee to upset Louisville.
Yes, that's a good one.
That's why it's gonna be
What
a big
time
one
is
to come
that?
in here. That is, I will look up the time for you. They should be all in the evening because it's evening time.
Also, the apps are
I'm sorry,
still
it's
separate.
Saturday night. Excuse me, I should say 5 through 8 is Saturday.
Also, I checked. The apps are still separate, so I had to download the women's app.
So I wonder if what are they equal in the technology?
The men's is a little better. Not gonna lie.
So that Manford.
You can stream from the men's. I don't think you can stream from the women's.
That might be ESPN's problem because they're not giving the rights up to ESPN Plus.
Yeah, they should. With ESPN, I should do more with ESPN Plus because I really like what's on
I have
there.
a subscription.
I have it too, and I like it. I just wish put the women's basketball in there. I'd watch it.
Yeah. I'm gonna say so the Stanford Maryland game on Friday night is at 9:30.
Mm-hmm.
So that's gonna be a good one. And then on Saturday, all right. So Louisville, Tennessee is at 4.
Yep.
All right. This is an all-day affair. All right. This game's interesting here too. Notre Dame already beat NC State this year, I believe, by 7.
That was going to be my
regular
pick.
season.
This is
So
the
that's
game
gonna-
I'm most excited
that's
for out of the
gonna be a
women's is
very good
NC
one.
State because
All
I
right?
like NC
And
State.
Notre Dame just hung 108 points on Oklahoma.
I know.
On Monday night.
I know.
That's just crazy. All right. UConn, Indiana, it's just a classic 2-3. You know, UConn struggled a little bit against UCF this past week, so that's what's going to be interesting if they can step up. And then Michigan, South Dakota. South Dakota is just like Creighton. They're the underdogs here. They're a double-digit seed, a 10 seed. They've been able to knock off 2 worthy opponents. Let's just see what happens with them.
I think you could probably guess pretty easily what my men's pick is. I think there's only like 2 games that you think would probably fight for my heart. Can you guess which the 2 games are?
Well, one's going to be Duke, Texas Tech, because you love Texas Tech.
Yep.
It's fighting for your heart. And then I think the other one's going to be, for some reason, Villanova, Michigan.
I really thought about that. That's probably third. The second would be Purdue, St. Peter's.
Really?
Because you know my favorite player in college basketball right now is Jaden Ivey. And then Edert's a close second. There you
I
go.
didn't say Eder. I was saying Edie.
Edie.
Yes.
Edert? You talking about
No.
the guy for St. Peter's?
Edie on Purdue, the tall guy, the 7'4"
You think I like that guy?
Yes.
No, not him. No.
Okay.
No.
Yes, I know. You're,
But yes.
you're an Ivy backer.
I love Jaden.
And here's a little fun fact, if you don't know this yet, which I'm sure you do, and you people don't know this, I'm going to tell you now, that Jaden Ivey's mom, Niele Ivey, is the coach of the Notre Dame women's basketball
I think
team.
I did know
You
that,
did not
yeah.
know that, I'm telling you now. So there you go.
But yeah, that game will be awesome, and whatever happens there, if my bracket will benefit from a Purdue win, and if St. Peter's wins,
Mine will
I am here for the Cinderella story. I'm enjoying this ride of St. Peter's. So I'm happy either way. Texas Tech Duke, respect to Coach K. That'd be his 100th tournament win. But then I think Texas Tech get the upset, and obviously
I
Texas
think he just
Tech.
had his 100th win against Michigan State.
I think it's 99. I thought that was 99. It's something might be his career win. I don't know what it was. You look it up. I think you're right. I think it was 100 over Michigan State.
It was because Tom is at 53, so they had 152 wins combined. That's why I'm saying that.
Did you figure it out? Oh, you're still
working.
Okay, well,
give me a chance.
Duke Texas Tech I think will be awesome.
Nope, it is 99. So
it's
he's
99?
going for 100.
So if he gets eliminated at 99, that's just painful. So that would be wild. I think Texas Tech putting him out would be crazy. Real props to the fact that they've built really a basketball school, and they've become a real basketball threat in the last 3
Thanks
years.
to Chris Beard to start off with.
And then now it's I can't remember their coach's name. All of a sudden, it's slipping me.
Don't worry, I'm looking it up because I don't even know this guy's names ever. I've never even met this guy.
He's completely new.
Mark Adams is his name.
Yeah,
I have never
think
heard
he
this
was an
guy in my
assistant.
life.
He was an assistant, I think, for them before.
Okay.
Under Beard.
Well, his overall head coaching record is actually, well, he was there as an assistant, but he has 581 wins overall. He's coached at Clarendon College, Wayland Baptist, West Texas A&M, Texas Pan American, Howard College before he was an assistant.
Yeah, well, I like how he kept them being a defensive-heavy school. I think he does a good job. And then Villanova, Michigan.
That's why, because some of these are D2 and NJCAA.
I think Villanova, Michigan, I'm going to give a little bit of a spoiler for my Big Finish pick. I think this is where Michigan's run ends. I think Villanova is going to have their number.
I would hope so, too.
I mean, they did in the national title a couple years ago.
They did. This is true. Mitch McGarry?
Yeah. Mitch McGarry. I forgot about him.
Yes. All right. We got to move on because we're running out of time. We're running out of show already.
We don't have a time limit. We
have
started
a time
at 8
limit.
o'clock. We're fine.
No, we didn't. We started later than that.
You sure?
I think so.
Well, it's 8:55. We can't
just
see.
think- you can't see
No,
it?
we can't see how long it's
Okay.
been going.
Well, anywho. All right, on to the sport of golf briefly because Phil Mickelson has decided to withdraw and not participate in the Masters tournament this April. So what do you make of old Uncle Phil not being there?
Is he working towards a retirement, maybe, is my thought? That was really my biggest take.
Well, I think this is the thing that people are speculating and nobody really knows. Is that he was the big pusher for the Saudi Golf League in Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
To go over there and get a bunch of mid-American golfers or a couple of big stars to get over there and make some money. Well, he was really pushing that, and then everybody kind of dropped out, and there's some words and a little bit of a controversy, and then he apologized for pushing people. So there's no suspension by the tour, and plus the Masters not part of the PGA Tour anyway. But there's been no suspension for him. I think he's just self-withdrawing. Maybe it's a self-imposed suspension instead.
Oh, you think he's upset with himself and
I
trying
guess,
to apologize?
Maybe. I think maybe so. Or it's his back's probably dealing with him again, but he has not come out about any
Maybe it's a
injuries.
little bit of everything. Maybe his back's bothering him and he thinks it'd be a good political move.
Well, I don't know if it's political. I think it's just
Well,
he's
I'm
trying
saying
to
political as in...
as in apologetic. I was trying to say
I'm
that.
saying political as in public persona.
Okay, public persona. Perception. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's interesting. I think Tiger is going to be able to golf. I have not officially confirmed that. I think Tiger's going to be golfing.
If so, I feel like they'd be putting him on the advertisements. Tiger Woods returns in a tradition like no other. The Masters on CBS. How long has CBS had that contract? My gosh.
40 years or so.
I don't think there's anything. Maybe the NBA Finals has always been on ABC. I'm trying to think.
All right. Okay, so Tiger has not decided why he is not going to, if he's going to be doing the Masters or not. But speculation is that he will be there.
All right.
But anyway. All right. Enough golf there. Also this past week, former Atlanta Falcons franchise quarterback Matt Ryan was traded to the Colts for their quarterback carousel to continue for a third-round pick. And Ryan, with those Colts, improved with Matty Ice under center.
I think this is the prove yourself year for Matty Ice. Are you really as underrated as some Falcon fans said you were, or is that not true? To me, it's all right. We're giving you a shot. If not, then we're going to be drafting Bryce Young, or you know what I mean, somebody.
Right.
And I think it's a test yourself year. I think this is going to go down as the craziest NFL offseason of all time because of all the things going on. It's nuts.
Right.
We hit a point. We hit a real, I don't know, boiling point, a paradigm shift. I don't know what word you want to use here, but between a lot of contracts being up and a lot of things happening and a lot of people being upset all at the same time, we hit this huge offseason in the NFL that's going to reshape the whole league. And I felt like last year was a pretty big offseason, but no, this pales in comparison to this one. This one's insane. So I think this is a real prove yourself year for Matt Ryan. Obviously, big Jonathan Taylor lover. Love Johnny T. Love to see them make the playoffs, but we'll have to see. It's really a test year. I definitely think he's a lot better than Prince Harry.
I know. Statistically, actually, Prince Harry had a way better year than him. Prince Harry actually had 27 touchdowns and 7 interceptions.
I think Prince Harry, Carson Wentz, is really an eye test guy. Like, I think when you watch him, you're just like, man, he's not any good. But when you look at the numbers, he holds up.
Right. He just does some stupid shit.
That's facts. No, that's completely true.
I'm halfway tackled in my own end zone. I might as well just throw this ball up right there and pick 6.
It's like just take the tackle, Carson.
Yes.
Lay down. Lay down, Carson.
Wouldn't you rather take the 2 points and give up 7?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I was excited about him going there. I thought this would be the Wentz. Prove he's gonna prove himself, and then he didn't. So maybe Matty Ice can prove himself. That's the hope.
Yes. I'm gonna say the Colts will improve, and this is the only reason. Matty Ice is going to have a solidified running game in Indianapolis with JT and a better line than what they had in Atlanta Falcons with Cordero Patterson, who, yes, can rush the ball, but he is a hybrid
I love him.
receiver.
I love Cordero.
I know you do.
He's great.
So that's
They give
where
him a
I
fat
think,
contract,
and I
too.
think, in my opinion, Matt Ryan. I agree with you. He's a better quarterback than Carson Wentz. So I'm interested to see if that can improve and what Frank Reich can do with him. They're reaching for the aging quarterback like they did with Uncle Phil when they should have asked for Uncle Phil to come back last year instead of signing up for Prince Harry.
I think the Colts are actually a really interesting case. 3 quarterbacks in 3 years, all guys who were former starters on other teams. And what I find really intriguing about the Colts, and I brought this up, I think what's going to go down as one of the biggest what-ifs in NFL history is the Andrew Luck. If he stays, I think they win the Super Bowl this year. The Super Bowl 56, like the one we just went through.
Yeah.
I think he would beat that Rams team. I think Andrew Luck with Jonathan Taylor, I think it all would have peaked at the right time because they still would have got Johnny T because Luck was injured and everything. And I think because there's a natural vibe, I don't know if vibe is the right word, ebb and flow to a pro sports team that you go through. Mm-hmm. You go through a down period, then you go through an up period. And if something weird happens that destroys that flow, then you're just stuck in purgatory. And that's happened to the Chicago Bulls for the longest time.
What do we do? Getting Catholicism?
I don't even know how we got here, but this is what we're going. This is the metaphor we're using.
I'm saying I'm not.
I'm using this. I'm saying, though, the Chicago Bulls had Michael Jordan on the top tier. Then they went into a downtrend for 10 years because MJ retired. And they're back in the uptrend because they got their franchise guy in Derrick Rose. Then something weird happens that messes with the flow with him tearing his ACL. And now they just stuck and they don't know where to go. And then they finally started to get back into the flow. You go into this weird period. Why are you shaking your head?
Nothing. I think you're an interesting storyteller.
Thank you. I'm saying, though, that's some of the Colts. Is they were in this natural flow, and it got disrupted. And I just hope they can get something out of it.
Yep.
Let's hope I will say their division looks incredibly weak because the Texans are still rebuilding. The Titans, I think everybody's concerned for.
Why?
Because the moves they made last offseason didn't really pay off that well.
Well, no, that's why they got Julio
And
Jones.
Tannehill disappointed. I don't think he played as well as we all thought. Because, for a long time it was, Tannehill's underrated. And then after last year it was
He still was underrated.
He was, but he was not as good as I thought he would be last year. And then, between the Henry injury, I think everybody knows Henry's going to come back.
Everybody expects them to be at their best season, just like Patrick Mahomes throwing 50 touchdowns in one season, and he's not going to do that every year.
That's a good point.
I'm just pointing it out.
I'm saying the Titans were in talks for the Super Bowl, and they got beat in the first round. They got beat in the wild card.
Yes.
Granted, that was a good Bengals team, but I'm saying they disappointed I think at least a divisional is what you'd want out of them.
Right.
So I think the Texans got to prove themselves, and I think the Colts are really coming up hot on their heels. And then the Jacksonville, I think Jacksonville can maybe get 4 or 5 wins next year. I'm surprised Jacksonville didn't go out and get Devontae Adams. I'm going to say that right now, which is a nice segue into our next thing we're going to talk about.
Well, I'm going to bring up Tannehill's stats for you right here, and you were definitely right. In 2020, Tannehill threw for 3,819 yards, 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Last year, he threw for 3,734 yards, 21 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. So, there you go. Right there. But anywho, yes, and we're going to segue into our next section. So, earlier this offseason, we've already had Devontae Adams head out from the Packers to the Las Vegas Raiders for 2 first-round picks, I believe.
I think it was something like that, yeah.
Yes, 2 high round. I should say his prime round is what they described it. Well, today, what happened across the waiver wire before and then it was official immediately, is that Tyreek Hill was seeking a trade out of Kansas City, and he got that. It was either to the Jets or the Dolphins, and the Dolphins are the winners. And the Dolphins traded 5 picks for Hill, including 2 first-rounders. So, Ryan, what is the crazier headline here? Adams to the Raiders or Hill to the Dolphins?
Quick aside, shout out to one of my best friends, Nate Hickman. He's a huge Marcus Mariota fan, and with the Falcons signing him, he's going to buy a new jersey. He's hoping they don't draft somebody. He wants him to be the starter.
He's supposed to be buying Steelers jerseys. He's a Steelers fan.
He loves Marcus. He wanted the Steelers' new starter to be Marcus.
Well, I know he's a big Mariota fan because that's when he had his big Oregon face.
Yep, and he actually was number 8 for his entire football career because of Marcus.
Yes.
He loves Marcus Mariota.
Yes, agreed.
Maybe he's just into oversized quarterbacks. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, Marcus is a little big for a QB. I'm saying Ben is also big.
Right. I know.
So, yeah. All right. Crazier headline to me was the Hill to the Dolphins. I mean, you're going to a team that just restructured their entire franchise and isn't even sure who they want their franchise QB to be. And were supposed to be a breakout team last year and weren't. Fired one of the best coach, in my opinion, a top 10, maybe top 5 coach in the NFL. I love Brian Flores. Why are you clapping? Because Flores is great?
I'm agreeing. That's why I'm clapping.
I love Flores. And I'm saying, I will say, if you're going to pull from any coaching staff, I would probably look towards the Niners because, I'm a big Shanahan guy. So I think it was a good, smart move for them to pull from there. But overall, I just think it's a crazy move for a team that's not even sure of their direction. And, I mean, at least Devontae to the Raiders makes some sense where they have Derek Carr and that franchise really likes him. And so they're trying to compete in the AFC West, which is just far and away the best division in the NFL now. And the Dolphins, to me, is just wild. And I think I had something else I was going to say. Oh, yeah. I think a while back Bill Simmons pointed this out, and it was a really good point. I want to bring it up. He said the times most quarterbacks will win Super Bowls is in the beginning of their careers and the end of their careers. And he's right. Because when you're in your prime, you actually kind of waste it because guys take huge fat contracts and their teams can't sign any other big players. For example, Mahomes, his contract is so big now, they're cutting their best wide receiver. Same thing now with, Rodgers, same thing.
I don't think really that was the big issue. I think the big issue is more that Hill wanted out because they wouldn't sign him to a big deal.
I know, but if they paid Mahomes less.
Right.
Mahomes is less of a problem than Rodgers. Like, Rodgers is the big one.
It's all about how you structure the contract.
Yeah. Rodgers is the real problem contract. I'm not going to argue.
Yes,
I'm saying
if you can keep it in the base, or if you have a roster bonus, you can always convert that to a signing.
Yeah, bonus. Mahomes was more of a overtime deal than Rodgers was like 4 years, $50 million. Yeah, Rodgers is much more of a problem. Mahomes isn't as bad, but even still, I'm not saying Rodgers to me was a greedy deal. Mahomes makes sense for what he does, but even then, it's like, when you were young and you're on your rookie contract, it's a lot easier to pull guys to the team when you're on your end.
Yes.
Brady, we've been seeing take smaller contracts kind of his whole career for that reason. And so I think this is interesting. This is really just pushing me even more to be like, Herbert in the Super Bowl next year. Like, that's just really the vibes I'm getting because it's starting to trend that way. Because they can go pick up these guys. Not these guys. Obviously, they didn't get Tyreek Hill or Devontae Adams. But I'm saying they can go pick up guys like Khalil Mack because they got the money to do it because Herbert's young. So I just think it's intriguing how the NFL works that way because I'm like, Drew Brees went to the Super Bowl really early on in his career. Brees is going to win at least 2 or 3. never wins another one.
He didn't go on early in his career. He was halfway through already.
I guess I think about it. It was
He was
early.
10
It was
years
early
in
with his
almost.
Saints career, because it was only like his
He was
fourth
there
year with the Saints.
Yes, 4th year at the Saints. 4 seasons.
And he played there like, what, 14 years? Not 14, 10 years? 10, 12 years? 14? Was 14 right? Yeah, 14 was right. So I'm saying,
Might be 15. But
yeah. But I'm saying overall, I just think it's odd how that works, the way the NFL works that way with quarterbacks. And I think it'd be interesting to see another guy like Brady say, I think that we have a chance on Mac Jones. I think Mac Jones would be the guy that Bill's like, all right, Mac, take your $5 million contract. And Mac's like, but Dad. And he's like, shut up. That's why, I just said before we recorded, the team that honestly I think is having one of the best off seasons in the NFL, and I'm going to say it, Pittsburgh. I love every move they made. They got one of the best coaches in the league to sign with them. Potentially the Mike Tomlin replacement if Mike wants out. I don't think Mike does want out. I really don't. I think if he was going to be done, he would have done it with Ben. But I'm saying it was really smart to get Flores, whether it's a long-term thing, he wants to be there a while, or if he just stays for a year. I think the Trubisky move is a low-risk, high-reward. I really liked that move. He's on a small contract. You've been signing heavily O-linemen. You let Juju walk, which I think is only going to help the locker room, especially when Claypool and Deontay are both better than him anyway. So it's like you got Najee Harris. You listened to me last year and draft Najee Harris. I mean, crap Steelers are doing a heck of an offseason, and I'm over here cheering for the Panthers. So then there's that.
Change to your father's favorite team.
Nah, I like the Panthers, bro. Something about that blue and black. I'm just into it.
Oh, I see.
I think Malik Willis might be the right move. I don't know what I want. I don't know what I want as a Panthers fan. I just want success, and
No, we all.
the only time we ever really had that was 05 and 2015. So apparently in 2025 we'll rock.
There you go.
Well, for then it'll all go away in a season like that.
Mm-hmm.
I need back Steve Smith. That's what I need.
Which one? There are many of them.
The one for the Panthers. But no, I think the crazier, it's got to be Hill. Like, come on. That's crazier. The Devontae theme kind of seemed like a foregone conclusion. Quinn?
Yep. I mean, I personally think the crazier headline here is Hill.
Yep.
As well. And it's not even because of Tyreek Hill. It's because of the Dolphins. They're doing the same thing the Browns are doing. He just mortgaged your future. You're sending 5 picks away for Tyreek Hill. Is he really Is he really worth 5 picks? If Devontae Adams only worth 2 picks, why is Tyreek Hill worth 5?
The Packers front office is just stupid right now, though. I mean, they gave Rodgers that huge freaking deal,
Yes.
knowing that would go on with Devontae, and then they gave Devontae away for not much.
Nope.
No, and I'm saying,
I mean, 2 first rounders or a first rounder, second rounder still is not as a lot.
yeah,
But I mean, I think they gave too much. The Dolphins did.
yeah, no, I agree. Well, the Browns completely overpaid for Deshaun, completely.
Exactly, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. But
Yeah, I know.
so, I just think. I mean, I'm hoping that Tua can get him the ball. I'm hoping the line will hold for Tua, and that'll be successful for him with Tyreek Hill now. But they already gave him a contract worth $120 million. So over the next 4 years,
Yeah.
$40 million a year. That's a big contract. So I don't know. All right, it's time for a word from our sponsor.
Edition unlike any other. The Masters on CBS.
Just a brief
Oh,
one
my.
right there. And as we make our way through, today we started out in 1988. We just hit 1997 there with our Masters commercials, and there might be another one happening later on. So, it's time for toss-up. We got 3 of those today. What's first over the loudspeaker? Who will the Cleveland Browns have under center for their season opener? Deshaun Watson or Jacoby Brissett?
I actually like Brissett. He's a solid backup, so I think Case Keenum's honestly a better backup.
Too bad he's at the Buffalo now.
Yep, which what's up with Buffalo and getting guys who might be starters as their backups? Like,
Well-
Josh Allen's good.
I know. Well,
and he doesn't really get injured
Well,
often.
hopefully he doesn't get injured.
Yeah, knock on wood, I guess.
Knock on
This
wood,
desk is
especially
made of
you,
wood, so we're
Chad
good.
Hobbs. Yes.
I mean, the Bills are obviously an early favorite, but I have yet to be proven wrong about my Bills, about my takes about the Bills. So Deshaun Watson, to me, is not going to be the starter just because, A, they're the Browns. It never seems to work out for them. I think right now they're going with a complete organizational rehaul. Would that be the right terms? I think so. And I don't know if I'm 100% on board with everything they're doing. And I just don't, in general, I don't think it really works out for them the way it should. I mean, like, in general, things usually just magically happen that mess up with the Browns. And on top of that, I'm getting a sinking feeling in my stomach that Deshaun's going to be out for a couple, like, suspended for a couple games, or if not the season. Just because they're the Browns, and on top of that, there's still a bunch of civil charges against him. The federal ones are done, but the civil, 22 civil charges, I mean, things can get real dicey real fast. And I'm saying I could 100% believe Jacoby Brissett starts for them.
I'm going to agree with you. It's Jacoby Brissett because Deshaun Watson will not be playing at least for that season opener with a suspension, in my opinion. And I brought this up earlier this season, when this started coming out about Deshaun Watson in these cases, and I'll go back to my lawyer 101 here, and when you have these cases, you don't file a class action lawsuit and lump them all together because they could just throw that lawsuit out. You file 22 individual ones because that means they have to go through each individual case.
Yep.
And everybody is thoroughly heard. So that's going to happen. Like I said, from my previous experience as a Steelers fan with Ben Roethlisberger, who was alleged of rape and then was criminally cleared because the woman was not made up the allegation. He was still suspended for 6 games, appealed down to 4. So I would say that look for Deshaun Watson not be there and under suspension for the season opener, and then we'll see what happens with the Browns after that.
And he'll laugh at those the whole way home with his $48 million contract or whatever.
Yes, but this year
it's
he's
crazy.
not getting paid that much. Remember, he's only getting paid about $10 million.
Yeah.
Part of his signing bonus, and then this $1 million base salary.
Yeah. I'm not really sure how I feel about the Browns move because obviously we all know Deshaun Watson is incredibly talented. There's no argument. I'm saying
I'm not disagreeing with that either.
he's really good at football, but I'm saying if you look at stuff off the field, I'm like, this is looking real freaking dicey.
It is.
And my thing with Baker was I would have given him one more year because, I mean, we want to think...
You already picked up his 5th-year option.
Exactly. And let's just think simply stock-wise, right? He is at his lowest point stock-wise for trading him. He just had one of his worst year, probably I think his worst year right now. He's getting the most flack he's ever caught, and even if it's a little better in his rookie year, I mean, I don't think it is.
But remember, he didn't play all the games in his rookie year.
Yeah, so I think it was probably his worst year if you look it up here. But this is at his lowest value. Whereas if he starts all next year, does pretty well, but you're still not sure about him, trading him then, you're going to get a better package than trading him now. I think that organization's completely doing this wrong. I don't know what Stefanski thinks. I'm really curious to see, is Stefanski on board for get rid of Baker, I want Deshaun, and we need Baker out of here? Or Stefanski, just a slave to the system almost. You know what I mean?
I don't know if he'd be a slave to the system, but I don't know how the Browns run things. I think the Browns run things a lot through Jimmy Haslam as the owner, compared to what the Steelers do when they had the big 3.
Tomlin.
Everybody gets an equal share.
Tomlin, GM, and owner.
Rooney II, and Colbert for now.
Way it should be, in my opinion. If you have a coach that you believe in and want to be there long term, like a Tomlin, like what Dolphins should have done with Brian Flores, like Kyle Shanahan, like Sean McVay, they should be just as invested in the manager's perspective. But was that his worst year?
Last year?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, wrong.
His second year?
His second year, because he threw 22 touchdowns with 21 interceptions.
Wow.
But he threw for the most yards that year. So that was his year under Freddie Kitchens.
Yeah.
Coach. But last year, he only threw 17 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. But remember, he didn't play 3 games. He was out with injuries. That's the thing, too. When are you taking the chance on Baker where you kind of know what you're getting, and you're hoping he's healed from the shoulder injury so he could be better? That's what I would say, and talk about contract after the season.
Yeah, and I'm saying I just feel like it was a lot of dumb moves, and I honestly, AFC North to me, I'm thinking Ravens, Steelers, and Bengals more than them. I think the Browns might be getting last.
It'll still be a good division.
It'll still be a strong division, probably third best.
Bigger deal this weekend in the women's tournament for NCAA. LSU being bounced by Ohio State, or UConn keeping their Sweet 16 streak alive.
I gotta go UConn here because if they wouldn't have kept it, it would have been a big freaking deal. So I think them keeping it alive, it says a lot for the program and the fact that they might be back winning the national title even as a 2 seed.
Yes, and if you did not know that This is UConn's 28th straight season of making the Sweet 16. It breaks Tennessee's record of 27 straight tournaments of making the Sweet 16. What I'm going to say for this answer, and you're going to be so surprised about this, because I'm going to take the former LSU being bounced by Ohio State. And here's the reason why. Because LSU, before Kim Mulkey was there, was not a very good team at all. And what's crazy is what she came in, she got some transfers out of the transfer portal and turned that team around. Last year, 2020-2021 season, under Nikki Vargas, LSU went 9-13.
Yeah.
6-8 in the SEC. Under Kim Mulkey this year, they did bring in, like I said, a bunch of transfers, but Kim Mulkey went 26-6 and 13-3, second to South Carolina.
She's an amazing coach.
In SEC. She's a very good coach. That's where I'm going to say their ceiling was higher, and they should have actually been playing in the Elite Eight against Stanford. In my opinion, that would have been a great game.
I feel like she's a tough as nails coach, though. Like, I would not want to play for her.
She's that's her hometown. She didn't go to LSU. She went to Louisiana Tech. She was on. You got to think about this. Louisiana Tech actually has, I think they have 4 NCAA women's basketball titles. They won the first 2. Yeah. So that's just crazy. But anyway,
there's some history for you.
There is some history for you. So I will say it is actually Gino Ariema's birthday, and since he's not on our happy time today, happy birthday, Gino Ariema. So.
We should also bring up real quick that our national title pick was bounced in the second round. We picked Auburn because we couldn't agree, because you wouldn't go Tech. You wanted to take Zaga over Tech and Duke, you know what I mean? You wouldn't let me take Tech all the way, and you didn't
I thought we took Kansas.
No, our national champion was Auburn.
Okay, well, we'll have to look at that.
I'm saying I'll pull it up right now because I still have the screenshot, but because I just edited it the other day.
Because I can just remember my own, which is I had Kansas.
Yeah, and I'm saying we had to take Auburn because you and I disagreed a lot this year. It is.
Yes, we took Auburn for the winner.
Uh-huh.
Why did we do that?
Because we
wouldn't decide, and you won all the coin flips, you little chumbone.
Do not blame this on me, Quinn.
No, I'm not. I'm blaming it on the coin flips of chance.
I'm saying you also wanted St. Mary's over UCLA. I mean, let's all take a moment, Quinn.
Okay, it was happening at one point, and then it didn't happen. Okay. Well,
you also made me take Loyola Chicago over Ohio State, which I didn't want to do. You took Loyola Chicago to the Sweet 16. I told you not to do that. This is not my blame. This is not my blame.
Okay. All right. Well, you know.
This goes both ways on us this year.
Oh, yeah, because I didn't want to take Virginia Tech to the Elite Eight.
We had a bad bracket this year through neither. It was both of our faults. Both of our faults.
Yes. Equally so.
Equally. This Gonzaga being in the national title crap is some bull.
Well, we'll talk about it in a
They'll
second.
be lucky to make the Final Four.
Well, speaking of that, next! Last one. More likely to lose out of the number 1 seeds this weekend. Gonzaga, Arizona, or Kansas.
The Zags, baby. Gonzaga. I just don't think they're going to the national title 2 years in a freaking row. I think they're in the toughest part with Duke and Texas Tech. Both those teams could beat them on any given night. Texas Tech, best defense in the country. Coach K, one of the greatest coaches of all time. Took it right over from Dean Smith. He grabbed that.
Mark Few is not one of the greatest coaches of all time?
Not until he gets a national title, then he can be in the talk. You got to have the title to walk the walk.
Iz's only got one. So.
I mean, every generation, almost 2 generations, how long they coach. I mean, it was Wooden, then it was Dean Smith, then it was Coach K. We'll see who it is next. Maybe it's the dude for Texas Tech.
What about Adolph Rupp?
There's always maybe Rupp's first. Maybe the Rupp's and then it's
8.
Rupp. Then I think it's Rupp then Wooden, Rupp then Wooden then Smith then K. But he loses to West Texas. I watched that movie.
Yes.
I watched Glory Road. I love that movie.
There you go. See?
It's a good one.
Educating people. I'm going to take Arizona here.
Boo!
Look at you.
Boo! Hiss. We hate him.
Thing.
Quinn Masego. Arizona fans hate him.
Here's the thing. Looking at Gonzaga's, they're playing Arkansas. Arkansas is a crazy team.
Arkansas can freaking beat them.
Arkansas is a crazy team because they could beat you by 30 and lose to you by 20.
Completely true. This is why they're a good upset team.
I love Musselman. He's a great coach. For Kansas,
he is a good coach. I like him too.
For Kansas, they're playing Providence. I still have no faith in Providence, and we both agreed on South Dakota State over them. And
South Dakota State.
so they almost won that game.
They did.
I know.
They
It
did.
was the first games of the tournament. So I think Kansas is going to beat Providence. Remy Martin's going to go off, have a great game.
Kansas right now is probably going to win that sector.
All right, Arizona. Never heard it called a sector before.
I don't know either. I don't know why. I don't know where I pulled that out of.
Well, thin air. Arizona, they are playing Houston. Houston is a great defensive team, too. That's why I'm going to disagree. And
Houston's a tough team.
And personally, I think Arizona was pushed more to the rope between them and Gonzaga because they had to go to overtime and beat TCU and fight to the end. So that's why I'm going to say Arizona.
They were also the last game. People don't ever think about this with travel schedules. Iowa...
But they were also in their time zone. They're in the West.
Yeah, I know that. I'm saying Iowa. I'm bringing this up about Iowa. This is a good point. I didn't even think about. My grandpa brought it up. Iowa played the Big Ten tournament. 4 days later, played Thursday. Then they played Saturday. So no wonder they lost. No, sorry, they were going to play Saturday.
Yeah.
So I'm saying no wonder they lost Thursday. They just played 3 straight games in a weekend and then had 3 days to prepare.
Well, I'm not. Well, I'm going to disagree there because when Cassius Winston was leading Sparty to that Final Four run,
Cassius was a god.
all right, I understand that, but I'm not going to say this complete extra day helped them, but they played the first game on Friday, all right, and let's remember the Big Ten tournament also is the last championship to end, so you're ending it Sunday at 6. By the time you get done with all the celebrations, all that, you're basically done Sunday at 9, and then you're going to turn around and play on Friday at 1.
That's tough.
I'm saying that's tough.
I'm saying, but Cassius at Michigan
crazy.
State
And he had
was
Bob
like
Knight.
a
He had
basketball
Bob Knight.
Jesus of the state of Michigan. He was awesome.
He's great.
He beat Duke, not single-handedly, but borderline. He was awesome that game. He was amazing that game. He's the number one thing people remember from that team.
player.
People talk about Cassius Winston in that game more than they talk about Izzo outplaying Coach K. People talk about Cassius in that game a lot.
Izzo had a great play for them to get that 3 in the end.
I know. I'm saying that game, I remember watching it, and I had Duke winning that year, and I went,
Yep, and I had Michigan State
I was like, go-
Tennessee that year.
out of every team in the Big Ten, the one that never disappoints in the tournament, it's always Michigan State. And even this year, I wouldn't say it was a disappointment, but Michigan's starting to take your title as the team that never disappoints. 2018, they were not supposed to be in the national title.
I don't disagree with that.
And I'm saying,
But Izzo's had plenty of runs there, too.
that's true. I think you might have 2. I think the state of Michigan just might be the basketball state of the Big Ten.
It is.
I'm saying definitively now. Not even close.
I mean, it's not Indiana anymore because, there's no more. Gene Cady and Bob Knight are not coming back to coach any of those teams.
No.
So.
No, and what I was also going to say about Kansas is I think they've kind of got the easiest march right now out of anybody left. Mm-hmm. I think your toughest, like I said, is that Gonzaga, Duke, Texas Tech, because I think any one of those could win the national title. Mm-hmm. And then I think your weirdest set is your UCLA, St. Peter's, Purdue, and who's the other one down there? That UNC. Mm-hmm. That is a weird set.
It is because all the top teams are out except for 2 of the top teams. Your 2 top teams are out. You still have your top.
And there's glaring flaws in every one of those.
Right.
UCLA is not the same team they were last year. Even though it's a lot of similar guys, they're not playing the same.
No.
And I remember that guy with the really poofy hair for them, their point guard. I can't remember his name.
Tiger Campbell?
Yes, Tiger Campbell.
Yep.
When I saw him, I was like, he's still there. I forgot.
I heard one of the commentators say he told them he has never had a haircut since 5th grade.
Well, I actually like his hair.
And guess what? You're on that route right now. You haven't had a haircut in a year.
It's been 6 months.
Oh, 6 months. I thought it had been longer.
Oh, wait, no. It's been a little longer. It was July.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're getting.
Yeah, when I go to the haircut lady, I'm going to show her a picture of Justin Herbert and say, like this. No lie.
She'll say, I don't need to do anything.
Well, no, they trim a little bit on the top and on the sides.
Okay.
And then I'll get my Herbert shirt. Maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll get a Herb shirt. Because no one else buys Chargers gear. Not enough people do.
Well, speaking of Herbert, we're into your special section now. So what do you got to say for that part?
Oh, well, do you want...
It's not about Herbert.
It wasn't. No, it wasn't at all. But I would love to. I'd love to go on to Herbert, but I don't think there's really anything to talk about other than the fact that it's like... I'm talking about Super Bowl next year. I would put money down right now if you parlay it like... Not parlay, but put a couple bets in to do like Chargers win, Patriots win. Those would be the 2 teams I'd bet on if you were taking your sports betting advice from me. I like both those teams a lot. So, all right, Quinn. You and I, we should tell all the viewers, by the way, that we've been playing Wardle every day. And I think you've been beating me a
I
lot.
had a 7-game winning streak.
You did. And, well, I get mad at the end, and I'm just like, screw this, and I put in 2 stupid ones.
Why don't you just ask for some help?
What do you mean? Like, when you look up, like, the team, like, because with baseball, when you know it's a pitcher for the Marlins, and you can't think of...
You can't, it's kind of like, even like with just like with Wordle, it's the same with Wordle. I'm not saying I do this with Wordle, but sometimes you have to say, do I really know every 5-letter word in the English language?
No, yeah.
It's like the MLB.
I do that. Yeah, like today when it was the Mariners guy, I eventually was like, okay, the only pitcher I know for the Mariners is Felix freaking Hernandez.
Hey, me too.
So I looked up Mariners pitchers. First one I saw, I went, he's right-handed? Okay, good. Put him in. Bing! Congratulations, you got the player. And I was like, yes.
This is the first one I've missed since we've been competing. I was 7 for 7, and I texted
7-1. Here comes my comeback.
I got to the last 2 there, and they both. I had everything right. The teams, what they threw, the age, where they were born. I sent Ryan. I said I had everything right except the player and the position. Who would have thought that the Mariners would have 3 players, age 27, born in the United States, that are righty on right? So that's what's crazy.
Yeah.
Because they have an infielder and 2 pitchers. So I picked 1 pitcher, and that's how it went.
I should have won that Vladimir Guerrero day. It was like last Friday. It was Vladimir Guerrero.
That one quick.
And so I got I got it in 2 guesses. I knew it was a young guy for the Blue Jays. And I was like, oh, well, I thought, what was it? It was Thursday?
No, I can't remember what it
Okay,
was.
whatever it was. I was like, oh, it's probably Vladimir. And I was like, I feel like Vladimir's a bit easy. I'll go Bo Bichette to see. Put in Bo Bichette. Nope. And I was like, maybe it is Vlad. Put in Vlad. Bing! I was like, wait. No, I put in George Springer, too. Put in George Springer. And I was like, crap, it is Vlad. Put in Vlad. Bing, it was Vlad.
I think it was this one. It was number 10, because I said, I didn't know he played that position. I thought he was middle infield. That was him, because I thought Vlad was playing. I thought he was shortstop, and then he played first.
Yeah, he plays first. I knew he was first because he's too big. He's a big boy.
No, but he lost all that weight. I thought he was.
Yeah, I don't know if he lost enough to be shortstop because Bo's shortstop. I love Bo Bichette. Now, I actually got my buddy who's the baseball coach, Ryan. I got him to play now, and I text him my score every day. So
what's he say? Does he get his?
Oh, he plays. He loves playing it. We like to compete too.
Good.
So, and he hasn't watched MLB in a couple years, like religiously, and he knows that me and my girlfriend really watch a lot of baseball. Like Dan and I, pretty much every time every time we hang out in the summer or in the spring, as soon as baseball season starts, that's what we watch every time. When I'm not with her and I'm here with my parents, like every time, turn on baseball, and then he, of course, dating her older sister, and so they were gonna like watch baseball with us. So he's got to get back his MLB. He hasn't watched in a while. He's a big Juan Soto guy. I don't blame him. Everybody loves Juan Soto.
Yes.
He's the new Ted Williams. I mean, he's insane. He's actually the only player that's ever been comparable to Ted Williams, which is impressive because Ted Williams might just be the best hitter ever.
Yes.
Now, what's interesting about Juan, though, he had an interesting take as a baseball coach. He said that Juan will probably eventually play first base because he's so freaking good at hitting that they won't want to take a chance on him getting hurt out in the outfield.
Oh.
And he's like,
Why doesn't he just be the universal DH then?
Because he wasn't thinking about that. That they just put that in.
Just did put that in.
You know what?
Which I think ruins baseball, but that's me.
Well, you are a very angry person for saying that.
I'm not angry. I'm just saying that's not baseball in its
You
pure
know,
form.
we know what I just thought of. Because we've been talking about baseball. Do you want to do a baseball themed special section?
I thought we were already talking about the baseball specials. I thought this is the special section.
Oh no, the special section was gonna be something completely different. That's fine. We'll do the baseball. I think this will be fun. I didn't have a concrete concept yet. I was just thinking of
We've been
ideas.
talking for 3 minutes. I thought we were talking about it.
Here's what we're gonna do: 2022 World Series odds. What are the odds right now? Because not everybody's signed. We don't know anything yet.
I know what they are. May they ever be in your favor, and that's how it works.
Here it is.
Okay?
We're going to go to Fox Sports. Championship odds for every team. When was this published? Just make sure it wasn't released right after the World Series of 2021, because then it wouldn't have the new signings tipped into it. Baseball is back. Okay.
It says the 10th, so there you go.
There we go. All right, here we go. The lowest is the Arizona Diamondbacks. Plus 1,500. No, 15,000. Whoa, that's a big number. Okay. Whoa! Only smoke and mirrors, as Cody Rhodes' old WWE theme song was. All right. Los Angeles Dodgers are plus 500. Astros plus 700. Braves 900. I'm gonna say right now to those top 3, definitely would not bet Braves or Astros. I don't think either of them are winning. I got a question. So, Quinn, here's the special section for the day. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. The special section for today is this. In the MLB, let's say I give you a ticket, okay? And this ticket is good for 3 Major League Baseball games. You get to pick what the matchup is in what stadium. So if you pick Reds, it has to be either, let's say you picked Reds Nationals. You want to see those 2 players. It has to be in either Nationals Park or Reds Park.
Right.
So I'm saying you can pick any 3 matchups you want that you would love to see this year based off of players.
Okay.
And I really hope that the Royals get, crap, you know the guy, the pitcher.
Oh, the guy.
Greinke, Zach Greinke.
He already signed.
Did he sign for Royals?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I couldn't remember if I dreamed that or not.
I think he dreamed it.
Because I wanted him to sign there so bad because that's where he was drafted by. All right. So there you go, Quinn. Just for fun, we're just going to do something a little fun and quick.
Okay. What I'm going to say is my first one.
What matchup would you love to
Actually,
see?
I'm going to change. I'm going to change that.
We'll go back and forth. So you
This
can
is
do
my
one
first
other
one here. All right. Is going. I'd like to see them twice, but I can't use both 2 games on these. I like to see a Yankees Red Sox game,
Yeah.
but for the stadium,
You're not going Fenway?
I'd love to go Fenway. But here's the thing too, and this would be a little more neutral site though. I'd love to see it in old Polo Grounds where the Yankees used to play. Yes.
Okay. I'll give you it.
Isn't that a weirdo one? But yes, but I'd actually like to see him play him at either stadium. So that gives me a little option.
I got a funny one. So I'm going to go full on. I want stats, hard-nosed baseball. I'm doing Tampa Bay Rays versus the Seattle Mariners. 2 young, low-budget, well, Mariners were low-budget last year, not anymore.
Yeah.
Teams that are hard-working teams.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do it in Tropicana Field. You know, the Rays Stadium.
Yes, I
So
do.
then I can get front row seats because no one goes to the games.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go there.
Yeah.
I'll be the only fan in there, and I'll go, woo, Wander Franco! Wander Franco! I love Wander Franco. So that's my pick.
So my second one I'm going to say is I'm probably going to say I'm going to go the North-South battle of Chicago. Cubs versus White Sox.
That was going to be one of mine.
But not at Wrigley.
Boo.
I'm
No.
having it in the White Sox.
White Sox Stadium's in a bad location. I don't like the location.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. I mean, I don't like the ivy on the walls at Wrigley.
I like it.
So
I like it. You know what's weird, though, with baseball? I've started to find out. And, like, yes, I'm a Cubs fan, but, like, baseball to me is the main sport where I just feel like much more of a player's guy than a team guy. Because baseball, they move around so much.
don't they move around in every sport like that now?
Baseball the most. I mean, like, Freddie Freeman feels like a franchise guy for the Braves. And then he just bounced. You know?
Okay, well, I would say Freddie Freeman has more commitment than most football players in the NFL.
Your stars in the NFL, especially, are usually more. Now they're starting to move more than ever.
Yeah.
I will agree, but baseball, I think, is the most. Just because there's when you're playing 9 players every game, if sometimes 10 or 11. I mean, you know what I mean. Then there's Mike Trout is a rarity.
Yes. But I like that better.
Me too. No, me too.
All right. Anyway, what's your second?
Well, I was gonna use the Battle of Chicago, but you used it. I really like Progressive Field, but I'm not really digging the new Guardians
I think you should have
merchandise.
it in
I think it just looks a little bland. I don't really like it. So there's not a lot of personality. They really should have went Spiders. So I'm not going to pick Progressive. I'm going to go Petco Park, Padres, wait till Tatis is back.
Okay.
I'm going to go full young fun. I'm doing... Actually, no, bring in the rivalry. Padres-Dodgers.
What are you doing taking my third game? But that's what you did.
That's the great rivalry now. That's the great big new rivalry.
All right.
The exciting team that used to always be down in the gutters doing bad against the big it's the Prince
Where are you
proper.
having this at? Are you having this
I'm doing
in
it
LA?
Petco. I'm doing it Petco.
yeah, so you're
Screw
saying-
LA.
you're saying
Heck no, I'm
San
not going
okay.
there.
So
Now, Quinn,
since you're gonna
it's the Prince versus Popper. Come on.
Since you're taking that, I'm still taking the Padres, but I'm going to take them to the different side of LA and Anaheim. They're going to play the Angels, and you know why? Because I just want to see a little Ohtani versus Tatis.
Oh yeah, 2 exciting players. All right, I'm going to actually take another Ohtani game too.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm going to go to Anaheim. I'm trying to think if there's any other stadium like I really want to go to.
I know. GABP.
I'm going to Arlington. I'm doing Rangers.
Oh, you're gonna take the Rangers. Why are the Rangers not even that exciting right now?
They're not, but they got some nice merch. I can visit the gift
surprised.
shop. I like their stuff. The reason I'm picking Rangers, I have a good reason.
Okay, you give me a good reason. I'll give
Here
you,
it is.
I'll
Multiple.
counterpoint you.
First point, they have the best stadium in baseball right now. Second point, I like their gear. I'd buy a T-shirt, like one of those powder blues. I like that. I already own the powder blue
I
hat.
just don't want to be umpire.
Third, heck no. Third, the Rangers aren't good, so Shohei's gonna bomb one out. I'm gonna get to see a Shohei homer.
Oh! Now, I'm going to counter you because I think you should have done the Reds because, where's your love for Joey Votto here? I mean...
No, okay, can I have a secret fourth game?
No, we cut it off. We cut the
Oh,
cord.
but Quinn, I have a perfect one.
No, because I don't have a fourth one, so you don't get a
It's
fourth.
Reds-Mets
No.
in New York, and I invite Jerry to sit with me.
Jerry, and Keith Hernandez.
Yeah, I get Jerry, and then I get Pud. We all sit together.
Buddy. He likes hockey.
Well, he'll still go.
Oh, okay.
Then we can get the guy that's annoying that'd be like, Jerry, can we go to the Mets game together? You know the guy.
The pool guy?
No,
Ramon?
the guy that works.
Banya?
The guy. No, calm down. The guy who works as a stand-up comedian. That's really annoying.
That's Banya.
That's Banya.
Yeah.
Okay.
That goes to the soup, and he says, you want to go to Menchie's? You want to go to, Yes, remember, he has to pay him back the meal for giving him the suit.
Yes.
And then,
yes, I remember that.
He buys Kramer's suit. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, this is such a nice suit. Yeah, that.
That's
He
right.
always
Remember
talks like this.
He says, that's gold, Jerry. Gold!
No, that's a different guy.
No, that's Banya. They're all the same.
I'm looking him up. Banya Seinfeld. Is that really the same guy?
Yes. Look it up on
Yes,
Look it up on Wiki
that's
Sign.
not Banya. I'm talking about the bigger, like he's a bigger dude. He's bigger than Banya. Yeah, I know that guy. That guy's really annoying. He's less. Yeah, he's better than Banya. Yeah.
Okay, well, this is what I'm going to do. Click out of that, go to Wiki Sign.
Okay.
He's probably got all the characters on here in their description, so then we're going to go.
Okay. Okay. Now I had another facet of the special section because it's a smaller one. So there's another facet. You ready for the next one?
Yeah.
I
Why do
truly-
they call it Oval Team? The mug is round. The jar is round. They should call it Round Team.
There's Watley.
Watley. I love Bryan
I can remember an episode
Bryan
he's in.
Cranston is fantastic in that role. I just want everybody to know
He's
that.
great in everything.
I know.
I've never seen a Bryan Cranston bad performance. Let me go to episodes. Which season is the movie theater one in? The one where they go to the movie theater. They go to the movie.
You're talking about when he's doing the bootlegging?
When he goes to the movie and they can never meet up. They keep not meeting
Oh,
up.
you're talking about Kenny Diamond, that guy. I mean, that's the real name. That's his real name. Ah, shoot.
Yeah, that guy. That's who he reminded me of. He'd probably go to a Mets game with me. You see Frankie Lindor, Max Scherzer potentially, Pete Alonso. Gotta love Big Meat Pete. No joke. That's what they call him.
Okay.
Don't ask me why.
I don't ask.
Well, we shouldn't ask.
I don't want to.
Polar Bear Pete, so they also call him.
Yes.
That's a little more
Appropriate.
appropriate.
Yes. All right. Well, while we're looking this up.
You want to know the next facet? This is the second
Oh,
part.
are we still doing this?
There's a second part of the
I was
section.
moving on. But
Oh,
yeah,
there's a second part of the
right.
section. Second part. Second part of the section, which is just for kicks, because I just thought of this too. I was really thinking about like Marvel versus DC villains. You know, like I definitely think DC's got the stronger villains overall.
Didn't we talk about this last week?
Yeah. I just wondered who your favorite villains that were non-Batman were.
Okay.
Because we always talk about Batman villains, and I was like been watching the Superman cartoon, and I love Lex Luthor. He's probably my favorite villain. We've talked
Okay.
about that before.
I'm going to say Solomon Grundy.
Yeah, I love
Solomon
Grundy.
Grundy.
Grundy's great. Yeah.
I'm going to also say, I think Black Manta. Black Manta is good.
I really like the guy who played him in the movie. I forget the actor's name. I think it's Mateen.
I do not know the name.
I'm trying to let me look him up. In the new Aquaman movie, he was great, and he was also in the new Candyman movie. The actor was.
I'm sorry, Pat Buckles was the comedian's name. Barry Diamond is his real
Yes.
name.
Yeah. I think it's. I don't want to butcher
And that's
it.
when they started doing
Abdul Mateen II is his last name.
Oh, it's Yahya Abdul Mateen II.
Yeah, he's great. I haven't seen him in a lot, but everything he's in, I like him in. He's good.
So,
She's like Black Manta.
it's kind of a tie here. I don't know. I really don't want to include Lex. I don't really want to include Lex Luthor because
Why?
Well, I mean, he's good. He's already up there good. So I'm trying to pick somebody else.
You're trying to bring somebody up that nobody talks about.
Yes, I'm trying to maybe think if I'm going to bring in.
You like Sinestro?
I like. You know what I like? Captain Cold, baby.
Oh yeah, that's
Captain
a good
Cold.
one. That's a
All
good
right?
one.
I like Gorilla Grodd. I was actually thinking about Gorilla Grodd or Giganto. Then I crossed those out. And
Gorilla
I'm going
Grodd's
for-
great. I love Gorilla Grodd.
But I like Captain Cold. He's a good one.
Captain Cold. What I like about
How do you feel about the Wonder Twins? You got an opinion on the Wonder Twins?
they don't really do anything in comics after Super Friends, so they're kind of weird to me. Like they live in
Exactly.
this little weird bubble.
How do you feel about Gleek?
Sometimes I forget that one exists.
Okay, well it's the monkey. But
Yeah,
anyway.
I forget that he exists. Like,
So.
because like they're in that weird like Super Friends era where like I've seen them when I watch Super Friends, but like I don't remember anything else. Now here's a character I really like, and he used to be a Teen Titans based villain, but then he became more of a Batman one, and that's Deathstroke. Really cool character, Slade Wilson.
Okay,
I really like him. I think he's really
I thought we
interesting.
were going for non-Batman villains. Now you just let me.
Yeah, I guess it's true. I apologize because I don't think about the fact that he became a
You
Batman
set the
villain.
criteria, and you broke the criteria.
I know.
I mean, what kind of proctor is this guy here doing
I'm the
this
worst.
test?
I know. Well, I already have defined that I really like Luthor, so I'm trying to think of guys that are underrated. I like that group of Flash villains, the Rogues, where it's Heat Wave, Weather Wizard,
Yep.
Captain Cold.
Isn't it awesome that the Flash, all the Flash's villains are weather-based mostly because he can reverse the time and
Yeah, it's interesting.
That's the thing.
Well, I remember in the comics they think the first one they ever did was Captain Cold, which made sense because he could slow him down. And then, because I own some old Flash comics, and then they did Weather Wizard, and then Heat Wave was later, and then there's another one I'm not thinking of. There's one more that's a part of the Rogue. There's 4. I can't remember what the other one is. I don't know, but Gorilla Grodd's obviously one of the main ones too.
Gorilla Grodd.
Yeah, look up Flash villains for me. I'm forgetting somebody that's part of the Rogues.
Mirror Master?
No, I love Mirror Master though. He's
How
pretty
about
fun.
Captain Boomerang?
Captain Boomerang, he's part of them too. He's joined them, I think, on some occasions. Boomerang's cool. Flash has got some good villains, honestly,
Okay.
because there's a lot of variety in their abilities. Like a lot of I think Superman has some underrated villains too, though. Like Parasite, I really like. You know, the ones that can absorb people's power in life.
You got Professor Zoom in there?
Yeah, Zoom, I know. Yep, and then Reverse Flash, obviously.
I think you're out. These are the people.
Yeah, Mirror Master. Yep. Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
Okay.
But I actually want to talk about. I like some of those villains that are goofier. Like an episode. I know I
You
said
like
no Batman.
Toyman. I know you like Toyman.
Yes, I do because he's really well portrayed in the Superman animated series. Really good episode with him. And I was just watching one of my favorite episodes of the Batman animated series, which is the Clock King. I find that like they do a really good version of him in the Batman animated series. I really like him in that. I actually really like some of those weirder characters, like when they make Polka Dot Man work in the new Suicide Squad movie. When you take these real 60s, 70s goofy characters and put an interesting twist on them to make them work modern, I think that's really cool. And Clock King was really interesting in that episode of the animated series, one of my favorite episodes. But I'm trying to think of other ones. I like Mirror Master, actually. I think Mirror Master has some fun play with Flash. What?
We didn't even bring this one up. What about Bizarro?
Bizarro's great. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Superman is underrated villains. Bizarro's good. Mongol is just kind of a less interesting dark side. Not going to argue. Parasite's cool. Lex Luthor's obviously one of the best.
Yes.
Brainiac's
Solomon
also great.
Grundy is already an enemy of him. So
Yep,
I brought them
Brainiac's one of the best. And what I like about DC is I think everybody's got their own little sector of villains, but they sometimes intermix.
Yes,
But I mean,
so I
like
do like
Batman's
that
got
too.
obviously his own rogues.
Yes.
So does Superman. So does
Yes.
Flash. Green Lantern has less, but Sinestro is very good.
Yes.
And then I'm trying to think. Wonder Woman has Cheetah and some other guys, but Wonder Woman's villains aren't like as strong. Like it's Ares and Cheetah are really the main
right.
ones.
And she has Giganta too, crosses between Apache Chief and her.
Yeah. And I'm saying I don't think they've developed enough of her villains because usually she'll share with other heroes
Yes.
villains. But I think Flash actually oddly has a really good set of villains when I think about it. Yeah, you brought up the Captain Cold. That was a good pick. I can hand it to you. That was a good one.
Thank you.
I also like
pat myself on the back.
I'm trying to think. I think it's interesting with Green Lantern's character when he fights. It's actually a matter of like ideology fighting. Why are you flashing me numbers? Are you counting me down? Like I have to be done talking? Well, I'm saying it's like that when Green Lantern fights somebody. If he's fighting a Red Lantern, it's like an anger. Then it's you're actually seeing a internal conflict as an external conflict. You're going to talk about from a writing perspective. Isn't that quite interesting?
I do think it's interesting.
See, I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about DC villains. I thought it'd be fun.
All right.
So
That's good to hear.
you're saying if you got to pick a new villain that gets his own like big run in the new Suicide Squad movie, I think Captain Cold might be one he picks.
Captain Cold. Hopefully, Captain Cold will be coming up in a Flash movie at some point.
Hopefully this Flash movie's good and they get
Yes,
everything
and
worked out.
And they get to redo it, and they get Captain Cold in for the sequel.
And did you want to announce the Eggman thing? The Eggman. Egghead thing we were talking about? Nicolas Cage?
If you want to talk about it, that's fine.
I just thought it was intriguing. Nicolas Cage said, for those of you who didn't know, that he said he would love to play Egghead in the next Batman movie, and he said he can make him terrifying. I think it'd be really interesting.
Yes, filling in that role for what Vincent Price had in the original series.
I forgot that was Price.
There you go. All right. We'll take a quick break, and then we'll be right back.
Is playing at a level unknown to mere mortals. Now he is primed to take home his 5th green jacket and begin his quest for the perfect season at the year's first major. A tradition unlike any other, the Masters on CBS.
Now that we're done talking about superheroes, we talked about a man that was just plain like no mere mortal, according to Jim Nantz there in Tiger Woods, which, as I brought to Ryan in that promo from 2008, Tiger Woods was going for his 5th Masters green jacket there, and it took him 11 more years from that date, 12 years from his last win in 2007, to win another green jacket in 2019. Happy time, people. Happy 30th birthday today, Kyrie Irving. Irving splashed onto the scene as a one-and-done at Duke before being drafted in the NBA by the Cleveland Cavaliers. He won an NBA championship when LeBron came back to Cleveland, and then he soon left for the Boston Celtics afterwards, and then made his way to the Brooklyn Nets to form a big three with Kevin Durant and James Harden. He's been playing sparingly in NBA games because of his vaccination status against COVID-19 and the current New York City rules for sports stadiums, but those have actually just changed as we spoke today. And according to to CBS Sports right now, on Thursday, New York City will change its private sector COVID-19 vaccine mandate, and now he will be again allowed to play in New York. So that changes for Kyrie as he ends the season and he goes into the playoffs.
You forgot about the most important thing in his career. When he stopped being my favorite player of all time when he left the Cavs.
I don't remember that part, but I do want to say a fun fact. If you didn't know this, he is from Melbourne, Australia.
I did know that, yep. And no, actually, Kyrie is a really interesting player to me. He used to be one of my favorites. I really got upset when he left the Cavs, and him being, not getting along with those Boston guys really made me kind of lose his luster to me, but he's incredibly talented, and I think, anytime people talk about him being one of the most elite point guards in the NBA, I always agree because he's really good.
There you go.
I like his little afro he's got going on now.
He does. He's growing his hair out. Happy anniversary, Taurean Prince.
Yeah, Taurean Prince, yep.
6 years ago, near this day, Taurean Prince was telling reporters after Baylor was upset by Yale in the first round of March Madness about how to get a rebound. And we have that clip right here.
You go up and grab the ball off the rim when it comes off, and then you grab it with 2 hands, and you come down with it, and that's considered a rebound. So they got more of those than we did.
And obviously, I think that has to be the best demonstration of rebounding technique by Taurean Prince.
Yeah, coaches should just use that now.
Yeah, I think they should. I mean, I bet Izzo plays that all the time. He has this war rebounding drill he does.
Really? What's that?
There's an explanation to the madness. It's just called a war rebounding drill. So I don't know what it is.
Okay, so it's a secret rebounding drill.
It is secret.
Izzo's secrets.
It is. And happy trails to Zion Williamson. He has now been shut down, the New Orleans Pelican forward, for the rest of the season for a nagging foot injury. What's concerning for Zion is with the big comparisons to LeBron James in his younger days, Zion has not been as durable as LeBron, as he has missed over 120 games since being drafted into the NBA.
I just keep hoping this is a Joel Embiid story, and he's going to come back and be MVP of the league someday, like Joel is this year. But, we'll have to see. I really hope he's Joel Embiid and not Greg Oden. That's my hope.
There you go. All right, you ready for the big finish?
Yep.
All right, let's do it. We're going to run through the March Madness picks, and we're going to start on the NCAA men's basketball side. Gonzaga versus Arkansas.
I'd love to go Arkansas here. I'll go Gonzaga.
All right, I'm taking the Zags, too, even though I'm rooting for Musselman. Duke, Texas Tech.
I got to take Tech. I've been rocking with them.
I picked Duke to begin with. I'm sticking with Duke. Paolo Bencaro, will play great. UCLA, North Carolina.
This is a toughie. I'll go UCLA, though.
Is Brady Manick even playing? He was just kicked out in the last game. UCLA. I think Carolina will be down. Purdue, St. Peter's.
Gonna go Purdue, but I don't care either way. I'd love to see either one.
I think Purdue's going to win because St. Peter's doesn't have a guy taller than 6'8". They won't be able to stop. They're tall. They're two tall post players. Arizona, Houston.
Go Arizona.
I picked Arizona here to win this, but I think I'm going to take Houston here
Okay.
for some reason.
Okay, that'll be interesting.
Different. Nova, Michigan.
Nova
as well. Jay Wright, have faith in him. Kansas, Providence.
Kansas by a mile.
I'm taking Kansas as well. And Miami, Florida versus Iowa State.
I think Auburn played to lose the last game. Iowa State. So I'm just saying, like, Auburn really didn't play that well against Miami.
I'm actually going to take Miami, Florida because I think they're going to win this game.
Okay.
I don't trust Iowa State as much. And now for the women's side, South Carolina against North Carolina. Battle of the Carolinas here.
South Carolina's on a friggin' mission, dude.
Yes, I think Dawn Staley might be bringing home her second championship this year. Going with Carolina. South Carolina. Stanford, Maryland.
Gonna go Stanford.
I'm taking Stanford too. Tara Vanderveer, the winningest coach in NCAA women's basketball, and Haley Jones is playing well. Texas, Ohio State.
OSU keeps the momentum rolling.
I had LSU winning this game originally. I'm going to take... that means I should be taking Ohio State, but I'm going to take Texas now. I'm going to change my mind and go be against the Buckeyes.
Okay.
Iowa State, Creighton.
I think this is where Creighton's run comes to an end. Iowa State.
I would agree. I think Iowa State's going to win here too. Louisville, Tennessee.
We originally took Tennessee. This is tough. I'll stick with it.
I'm going to stick with Tennessee as well, even though they had a close scare against Belmont. And a fun fact for that last game, it was Nashville versus Knoxville. There's Bell, Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
So, Notre Dame, NC State.
I'll take NC State for obvious reasons. You know I always really like them.
I thought you were going to take Notre Dame after you talked them up a little bit. Said the game was intriguing, but no, we'll take Notre Dame.
The game's intriguing because I like NC State.
Okay, that's what makes it intriguing. I'm taking NC State as well. Connecticut, Indiana.
UConn.
Yes, Paige Beckers. Hopefully she keeps playing better.
Becker.
And then last one, Michigan, South Dakota.
I'm gonna go Michigan tentatively.
I really would like to go with South Dakota here, but I'm going to side with Michigan as well because for some reason South Dakota has just been playing fantastic, and I don't know why you wouldn't go against them because they've actually blown out their two opponents they've had to play. So that's one.
Yeah, that's.
But anyway.
Yeah.
You got a thank you?
Well, I always have a thank you on the podcast. You see, I have to think about, sometimes it's personal, sometimes it's professional. Because if it's professional, it's somebody I don't know, and I thank them. We clap and move on. Other times, it's somebody personal. So, I'm actually going to give a thank you to my grandfather for calling me and making fun of me over the Iowa pick, keeping me down to earth. I appreciated that. That was quite funny. He doesn't listen to the podcast. He might eventually, but I don't know if he really knows how to... he has trouble sometimes getting on his phone and pulling stuff up. So, but thank you though, because I really enjoyed it.
Your other grandfather was listening.
Yeah, I think he does sometimes. Okay. My Grandpa Ben does. My Grandpa Dick doesn't. I don't know if Grandpa Dick can really figure this out yet.
We just send him the link every time, and he just has to click the link, and it'll start playing.
Yeah, but then it'll get halfway through it and do something else and not know how to get back to it. Well, I just had to restart it because I clicked off of it. And I'm like, I listened to the beginning 3 times. I'd be like, Grandpa.
Let's press pause. I got 2 quick thank yous. One is actually, I was going to throw this in on the anniversary one, but it's actually the 50th anniversary of the premiere of The Godfather. And there was...
Whoa, I forgot about that.
Okay, so... you never go against the family.
I love that movie.
All right, movie marathon for The Godfathers, Part 2 and Part 3, I believe, also on Sundance this weekend. It's $2.39 on DirecTV, I believe. So that's, I mean, I know that's the channel, but I believe it is on Sundance.
I actually was gifted the Godfather trilogy about a year ago, and I can't find it.
Well, you're
since
you're going to be gone for spring break, looks like you're going to have to be. That's a summer project for you to find that.
Well, I've looked for it for months. I mean, I haven't found it, and I'm really upset by it because I really like those movies, and I hardly ever lose things. I'm usually really good at keeping track about things, and it really frustrates me when I lose something because it hardly ever happens. And I loaned it to my cousin, so I think there was some transfer there between my mother giving it to my cousin and my cousin returning it to my mother. That somewhere in that process, either I've messed up or one of them. I'm not going to blame it on them,
right?
Because I'd feel bad doing that. But I'm saying at some point someone messed up. Probably me, maybe, probably. But I'm kind of upset by this because I don't lose things often.
Sword, you don't even know if it's you.
I don't know, but it's really upsetting, so I might just have to order a new set on Blu-ray. Really
you
sucks, but
I am going to. Here's another plug I just found out today, though. Johnny Carson. I hope you know who Johnny Carson is.
Yes, I do.
All right, longtime late night television host. They are actually going to be doing a biopic about him, a small series, and the star is our favorite wannabe Robin.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I love Joseph
so
Gordon-Levitt.
that'll be a good one
You
there.
know, have you ever seen one of his earliest movies he did? 10 Things I Hate About You, the romantic
I've never
comedy.
seen that one, but I have seen 500 Days of Summer. That's a very
Well,
good
that was not early in his career, but he's very good in
I
that
know.
too. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is genuinely
It's
amazing.
only 10 years separate, I believe.
Yeah, it's 2010, I think, or 2011. He made that.
It was 2009 for 500 Days of Summer.
It was 500
But
Days of
I
Summer.
think for the other one, I think...
It's 1999.
Yeah, 1999, so it's 10 years exactly.
Yeah, so I'm saying it was really early in his career, though. He's like probably my age, or maybe. He's probably like 17, 18.
When he was in 10 Things I...
10 Things I Hate About You.
Yeah. It's, he would have been 17.
Yeah, so
now.
on the money.
18, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm saying, like, honestly, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, I don't know. He's probably, when you talk about my favorite
He
actors.
debuted in Beethoven.
Really?
Yes, student number 1.
Oh, wait, I noticed that. When I watched that movie the other day, I was like,
you
that's
go.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
See?
And my girlfriend's like,
I thought you were
who?
watching Beethoven.
And I was,
There you
well, we watched it as like a nostalgia pick. Because I hadn't seen it in a while. It was pretty alright.
go. Okay.
But, doesn't hold up as well as some other movies I rewatched when I was younger. But, no, Joseph Gordon, when you talk about, you always make fun of me. You're like, some of your favorite actors.
No, that's a good one.
No. You always make fun of me and point out that, like, some of my favorite actors aren't really, like, the ones I say are 4th and 5th are probably really my number 1 and 2 when I think about it.
True.
But I just get stuck in my ways, so
You
I
don't know
always
which
say
one
it's,
you want.
yeah, but,
Yeah.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt's definitely up there. It's guys like him where every performance I always love what they do, so.
So he's having a big couple years because he has, in addition to now being in that biopic, he's also the voice of Jiminy Cricket in Pinocchio that's coming out this year.
Yeah, I don't think I'll see that.
All right. Thanks for listening. Enjoy spring break, spring breakers. Love ya. See you on the next podcast. This is Quinn Maseko speaking for the Big Salad Podcast, a Ryan Klinger production. Please note that portions of this podcast were edited before the final cut was produced, and this episode was recorded on March 23rd. The sections of Happy Time and Toss Up are copied from the ESPN show Pardon the Interruption, and the Masters commercials are copied from CBS. There was no intention to infringe on the copyrights of those segments and their related music. Stay tuned for our next podcast next Monday here on the Sorta Sports Podcast YouTube channel.